Hello everyone and welcome to the first of many F1 25 videos. I've been playing F1 25 a ton recently with the Kimi Antonelli driver career. I'm on week 17 at Baku. The handling model's great. The tire wear is a lot more pronounced in this year's game, so you really get a chance to see different strategies develop. The AIs are a lot more racy. They really challenge you. Don't just give up the positions really easy. DRS trains are not as bad, which is a huge improvement. You really felt like in the previous games, you were always just following in everyone's DRS. If you lost DRS, you had no chance to catch them. In this game, your overall pace really matters, I would say. So let's get into the settings real quick. As far as the settings, we're going to do full season, custom settings, assists, we're going to do everything off like usual. We'll start with 105 difficulty. If we need to raise that, we will as the year goes on. Qualifying format will do full with the session length long. Like I said before, with the more pronounced tire wear, the long session length really gives you a chance to see different strategies. Some may go for 2 stops, you may go for a 1 stop. You may even have to go for a 3 stop on some tracks with really pronounced tire wear. Everything here looks good. I'm going to go with balance for that. I almost was going to go with increase for the driver moves to kind of see who moves around, but I think we'll go with balance, keep it a little more realistic. Strict corner cutting stringency, everything looks good. Recovery mode none, simulation damage. All right, head on in to the rest of these settings here. As far as official drivers or icons, we're going to do official drivers only. I always think it's weird when you drive with someone like Ayrton Senna or Michael Schumacher, so we'll go with the standard official drivers only. We'll skip tutorials. I think we'll be just fine. This year the game's quite a bit different. You're actually just the owner of the team, so you drive as 2 drivers that you just hire and contract out, and as the team gets better, you'll be able to hire better drivers. This is the background for our owner. So you can either be a people manager, a head engineer, or a CFO. I'm going to go ahead and go with head engineer because at the end of the day, the car, if you have a good car, you'll be able to attract good drivers and good engineers and everything because everyone wants to work for a successful team and it all starts with the car. Our starting facility investments are going to be basic. Our starting car development will be some development. We are going with Lamborghini. So again, it is important that we have a little bit of backing because Lamborghini would come to the grid with a little bit of money and a little bit of backing. They do know what they're doing in motorsports, so they wouldn't come completely unaware. Here's a first look at the awesome emblem that this mod allows us to have. Super realistic looking compared to the Lamborghini emblem. If you are interested in using this mod or one like it, there will be a link to the mod in the description below. Also, if you are interested in skipping ahead straight to the racing, there will be timestamps down below. Feel free to skip to whatever part of the video you want to watch the most. Now let's head on into some of the most important details of the team. The title sponsor, the engine, and our 2 drivers. This is where really the base of the team is formed. So let's look. We're going to go with the sponsor that honestly just gives us the most money. I think X4MIG allows 20,000 less than Xenon right at the start, but we get 30,000 more dollars weekly income. I think X4MIG gives you a little bit more. So we'll go ahead and go with X4MIG as our title sponsor. Now we come to our engine supplier decision. I've thought about this one long and hard, and there's really only one clear answer to me. Renault will not be on the grid in 2026, so using them kind of unrealistic. Ferrari powering Lamborghini would never happen. They are complete rivals and it just would never happen. Mercedes powers half the grid, so I don't want to be another person powered by Mercedes, so it really comes down to Red Bull powertrains. Lamborghini x Red Bull for 2025. Let's see what 2 drivers they have to offer us. It looks like we have some really bad drivers. Franco Colapinto though, 77 rating. He does cost double, almost triple what anyone else costs to sign and double what Paul Aaron costs to sign, but I think it's worth it to have him on the team. We need someone who is a solid #1 driver, and he is someone we could develop for the future. I think we're going to go with the American Juan Manuel Correa, just because I have Obviously, because I'm American, have ties to America. I think I'm going to go with him. And I'll probably just drive as him and let Franco try to have a decent year on his own.
Hello and welcome to this very special live stream. Great to be with you all because today we're going to witness history.
That's absolutely right, Natalie, because for so many years we've wondered exactly what 11 teams would look like on the grid. Guess what? Today is the day we find out.
And we are here at the team's state-of-the-art HQ. We'll be seeing their brand new car very soon, but behind every team, behind every car, there's one person central to it all.
Yes, and they've been described as somewhat of an engineering genius, coming up with all the ideas to push the car and the sport to its limits. The question is, though, will they be able to step out of their comfort zone to deal with all the things that come with being a leader, dealing with the team's finances, sponsors, motivating the team and the drivers? Will they be able to juggle that, or will they drop the ball?
And we'll be seeing more behind the scenes as the season progresses. But of course, it is all about what happens on track. So, without further ado, let's see the fruits of their labor, the brand new 2025 car.
Here's your first look at the 2025 Lamborghini. Lamborghini's first entry on the Formula One grid. Hopefully we'll have good years to come. This first year may be a little bit of a struggle. You know how it is for new teams. We do have a pretty good car starting with the grid.
Well, thank you all for joining us. The team have done an incredible job. The car looks sensational.
It certainly does. Congratulations, and all the very best for the season ahead.
All right, here we have a brand new menu. Everything looks pretty clean. Head on into the activities here. So you actually get to choose an activity for the owner, engineering department, personnel department, and corporate. Now let's hop on into the engineering aspect of the team. It has changed a lot this year. It's a lot more like F1 Manager. So you first have to research a part using your resource points. Then after that, you have to develop the part using your cash. So it's a little bit harder. Both aspects of it can fail. And you do have to develop a part per car. So at first, you may have to choose what driver to give the part to until you upgrade your facilities enough where you can develop 2 parts at once. Both aspects of it can fail as well. And you also have to spend your cash upgrading your facilities. So it does make it a little more tricky where you may run out of money when you're a low budget team right at the start. Let's look at what upgrade we're going to go ahead and apply now. We have no powertrain upgrades that are actually available. I think we're going to hop into the aero upgrades here. And we're going to give ourselves a little bit more rear downforce. This will complete before the Australian Grand Prix. But remember, we still have to develop it after. Now let's look at some facility improvements. We're going to go ahead and go with development expansion. It'll allow us to develop 2 upgrades at the same time in our aero department. Which, if I'm reading that correctly, it should mean that I'll be able to bring all my aero upgrades to both cars. So we'll be able to develop 2 upgrades at once. So we can develop the same upgrade twice, which would allow us to give both drivers the upgrade in the same weekend, which will be huge. And then we'll also go ahead and apply some pit crew training here, because a fast pit crew is essential to a good Formula One team. We're going to skip out on the corporate upgrades for now. I don't think that's too important. Here's where we confirm our external driver talks for next season. It comes down between Yuki Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly. Unless Franco Colapinto has a terrible season, I'm going to keep him in the car next year. I'm pretty thrilled that we were able to get a driver as talented as him. So the fact that he even chose us is going to go a long way with keeping him on the team. If he shows loyalty to us, we'll show loyalty to him. For our second seat, though, Gasly would be the more preferred choice if he's really willing to leave the French team of Alpine. But Tsunoda would be a good second choice. He's most likely fed up with being the second fiddle at Red Bull, and Red Bull may look to replace him with the young Isaac Hadjar. So we'll see how that plays out. We do have our beam wing coming through in 6 days. Hopefully that can pass. And it goes through. So
Hey,
now let's
Chief,
go ahead.
Just a reminder to kick off some research projects. We don't want to fall behind our rivals, and we haven't got anything in the pipeline at the moment. Thanks.
So now we're going to start developing the rear wing, which won't be ready until after China. And that's just for one driver. See, it's a single development. That is just for one driver. So we will only be able to apply it to either Correa's car or Colapinto's car. That's quite unfortunate. Now we can apply another research upgrade here. So we're going to go ahead and do another aero one because we do have a slight aero advantage right now with one of our activities. So we did just finish our facility upgrade, which will allow us to build another beam wing. So we have 2 beam wings going now. So we won't have to choose who to give the upgrade to before the Japanese Grand Prix, which is absolutely massive. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing with the chassis department. We're going to go ahead and allow us to upgrade 2 or develop 2 upgrades at the same time. I think that will conclude all the setup of the team. Now it's just heading on in to the Australian Grand Prix weekend.
The long wait is over. This is it, a brand new season. And before the show gets well and truly underway, we've got the all-important matter of a free practice session. It's great to be back.
Here we are for the first laps of the 2025 season. This is the tire management practice program, so got to keep the tires in a good window while matching the delta time. Starting out on that hard tire. Little grip on the track as early in the race weekend as it is. Lock up the fronts a little bit there, which put us in the red. Ooh, that's not what we need. We're going to have to really nurse the tires if we want to get back into that purple score. It's not looking promising this time around. I think we're going to have to go ahead and do one more lap to get that perfect score. Ooh, as we go a little wide there. Put our left front in the grass. We're still matching the delta by a ton. But it all comes down to getting that perfect score for the maximum research points. We're in the green by quite a bit. Will we be able to nurse them enough to get them into that optimum window? I'm trying. We got plenty of a delta. We're in the purple now. Just got to keep nursing them the rest of the way. It's a real slow section, so it's easy to spin those rear tires. Oh, we just missed on the delta. No, I was nursing it a little too much. Oh, one more lap is needed now. No, the snap right at the end there. Just gonna cost us 3 tough laps there. Weren't able to quite put together the perfect one. We're gonna get our race strategy practice program underway. I'm not going to use any ERS or DRS to get an accurate representation of our race pace. We're already majorly up on the delta, which is a great sign. I'm in the last sector of the first lap, almost a second up on the delta. Car feels good. Mediums feels way more grippy than the hards, which is obvious, but sometimes the hards just feel a lot worse race weekend to race weekend. These hard tires just don't feel great. I think the softs and the mediums are going to be a lot better. Lamborghini first and second in FP1. Correa and Colapinto. That's what we like to see right there. Oh, as Russell slides right in between the 2 Lamborghinis. We just missed out on the delta right there. Being up by so much the first lap. The car really struggles in that last sector in the low speeds. In the higher speed corners, the car feels pretty good. That low speed section, I mean, we lose 5/10 basically every lap. We really got to make sure we're up on the time by a lot when we get into that last sector. Because the car just does not want to rotate through those low speed corners. In those high-speed sections like that, though, the car feels really good, really quick. We gain a lot on the delta, and then when it comes down to the low-speed sections, we lose quite a bit. One more clean lap here. We get our first purple score of Lamborghini's career. And we invalidate. Just a little too wide right there. And we miss out again on the perfect score, and it's going to be just a green score. That's going to kill our resource points for the weekend. Now we need to perfect the qualifying practice program. Here we are for our qualifying practice program. This will be our first true test of pace in our Lamborghini. Really see what we can do over one lap and what kind of pace this thing has. Unleash everything. As we scrape the wall there with our left front tire. That can't be good for the wear. We're already up half a second, so we're crushing the expected pace. 1.1 seconds up. This is our worst sector, though. Oh, and I really overshot that corner. Open the DRS, drain the rest of the battery. Half a second, and that's...
Test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done.
We're projected to qualify first. Okay. Well, we're in first for FP1. Half a second ahead of Verstappen on the same compound. Looking promising.
And a warm welcome, everybody. We're here in the heart of Melbourne. It's Albert Park, and it's qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix.
Here we are for our first lap of qualifying. And if practice is any indication, we should be really quick. We shouldn't need a world beater of a lap to get ourselves in for the second part of qualifying. The car has pace. Purple in Sector 2. Open the DRS, drain the rest of the battery. What's it going to be across the line? A 1:18.3, and that's P3. Faster than a Williams and a Ferrari. We'll take that for the first lap. We are 1.1 seconds quicker than our teammate Franco Colapinto. Come on, Franco, step it up. I know you got it. I know there's more pace in the car than that. Come on. I am just going to go ahead and retire. I do trust that lap is enough to get us through to Q2. And let's see. Yep, P7. Does Franco make it through? He has to be 15th or 16th. And he's P16. Both the Lamborghinis through to Q2 in their first ever race weekend. That is beautiful to see. Here we are for our first run of Q2. Oh, and we go way wide. Invalidate our lap for corner cutting. I way overshot it. I am going to go ahead and complete this lap just to give me a delta and a reference for our last run of Q2. This one will be more of a struggle to try to make it into Q3, as we are not putting down a world beater of a lap here to start. I did a 1:19.2 for my delta lap. We just put a decent lap down like we did in Q1. I think we'll be able to make it into Q3 here. That's all we need. That 18.3 is quick enough.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes' time. Rain in 10 minutes.
Looks like Q3 may have rain, but we will have time to get in some dry laps.
3 minutes to go.
Purple in Sector 2. We don't need to be first. We just got to be faster than 5 other drivers. 6 other drivers, I should
Right,
say,
that's
with
us
the
down into
22nd
P16 now.
team. And we're P7 through to Q3. Lamborghini's first week. Both drivers through to Q2, and at least one through to Q3. Will Franco improve on his lap? I saw he was 14th, and he did! Both the Lamborghinis through to Q3. Oh my gosh. Lamborghini with the dream start weekend. As Andrea Kimi Antonelli in the Mercedes gets knocked out by Franco Colapinto. What a start. Let's go. Going out on new tires for the first run. This is my only set of new tires, but the rain is coming, so it's imperative we get a good lap down here. Really sloppy lap for me. What's it gonna be? A 1:17.9. And there was so much more potential in the lap. P5 for now. P6. But I don't think we'll have time to do another lap, and if we do, it'll be on used tires. I think that's all we wrote. That's all she wrote. We're massively up on Colapinto, though. He obviously went for a run on the used tires. Will he have a new set, or did he have to use all his tires? Franco ended up not having a new set to go out and put a run on. He got P10, I got P7. I outqualified a Mercedes and a Williams. I outqualified both the Mercedes personally, and Franco was able to knock out Kimi Antonelli. Huge qualifying for Lamborghini. Hopefully we can back it up during the race.
The winter is over. It's time for Formula One 2025. Yes, that long break that you've all been coping with so well can now be put to the back of your minds. It's on-track action and it's off-track drama. That's what we're looking forward to. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 14 corners and 3.28 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles per hour. The close proximity of the barriers make accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Tsunoda, Charles Leclerc, and Piastri. Correa, Russell, Albon, and Franco Colapinto. Antonelli, Ocon, Isaac Hadjar, and Fernando Alonso. Stroll, Sainz, Liam Lawson, and Pierre Gasly. Bortoletto, Hülkenberg, Doohan, and Ollie Behrman rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And joining me in the commentary box this afternoon, the First Lady of World Motorsports, Naomi Schiff. New season, new dawn, and now 22 cars and 11 teams on the grid.
First of all, this is such an exciting time. I mean, to have an 11th team on the grid is exciting news for the sport. But for them today, I guess You would be really nervous. It's the first time you're going to be doing this. There is so much to learn. But at the end of the day, they've got to remember that expectations aren't that high. They've all been there before. They've all had their first race, and no one is expecting them to land on the top of the podium. So just learn to walk before you can run.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
I would almost have to disagree with the expectations not being that high. I mean, with 7th and 10th place starting positions, double points is on the table. We have the pace. We have to capitalize. There is a little bit of pressure now, just because of such a good qualifying. We have to kind of back it up. As for the strategy, it looks like the one stop is going to be way faster. Two stop here is not really viable. It looks like it's about 13 seconds slower. So we're just going to go ahead and go with the standard one stop strategy, and hopefully that will work out for us. Now we're going to head on into the formation lap. We got Piastri starting on the hards. No one really starting on the softs, mediums, and hards. We should be a lot faster than the hard runners here at the start of the GP. Hopefully we can try to make our way by Piastri and try to keep up with the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. And here we are under those 5 red lights for Lamborghini's maiden season. And it's lights out and away we go for the 2025 season and the Australian Grand Prix. As you get a pretty good launch off the line right there. So does the Mercedes. He's going to look to go on the offensive. That's George Russell. You know he's always trying to be aggressive as Pinto up to P9. And the 5 red lights are out as it's Max Verstappen leading the pack away. Can Lewis Hamilton challenge the Dutchman into turn 1 as no, Max is able to sweep around the outside and already pull, I would say, half a second on Hamilton as he's now under attack from the McLaren of Lando Norris. Will Norris be able to hang around the outside? No, Hamilton's able to brake just a little bit later and hold the young Brit off. P8 now as he gets past George, so we're not quite going to send it under the Australian there. Just remember, this is Oscar's home GP. He will not be thrilled to be getting out-qualified by his teammate by such a margin. Orlando's up there challenging for a potential podium. And we got Oscar down here challenging a Lamborghini. Which, I mean, we are quick. Both of us are 7th and 9th. You still wouldn't expect that. You'd expect him to be challenging for a podium, if not a win here at his home GP. He is on that hard compound though, so a lot of his best work would come later in the GP. He'll be on the softer tire with the fuel at its lower load, so he should be super quick later in the GP. I'm assuming mainly everyone in the front is going to be going on that one stop. I don't think the 2 stop is very viable, so I don't think that many front runners may try it. Maybe a few of the...
Okay, DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Maybe a few of the back markers might, especially the ones with really bad tire wear. But I don't expect much. I don't expect much of the front runners to be using it. Pretty decent start so far. Haven't moved up at all, but haven't lost position. We're able to hold off Russell quite nicely.
Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push.
Good start for Pinto as well, as he was able to move up 1 position. P9, he's hanging with us, the Mercedes, the front pack. Really good showing for Lamborghini here on debut. If we can get double points, that would be massive. Also, Juan Manuel Correa's actual debut. Pinto has raced some races for Williams and already scored some points, so he has that experience. That's why he's such highly rated. Well, highly, he's 77, but that's why he's way higher than Juan Manuel Correa, but he's still a rookie. He has scored points, he is a solid driver, and that's the type of experience we needed in that #1 car. And I can kind of help guide Manuel Correa to a pretty decent rookie season and hopefully get his ratings up. If both drivers perform well, we may see the same driver lineup next year. You never know. Because I do have a soft spot for Correa because he's an American driver. We're staying in the DRS, so the guys ahead quite nicely. Colapinto's still in 9th. This is going quite swimmingly for Lamborghini. Colapinto is close to losing Russell's
No
DRS,
tyre
though,
concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
which is not good. I don't want him to start sliding back. Yeah, Colapinto's fully lost Russell. Now the question is, with no DRS, will he be able to stay ahead of the guys behind him? Or is he just a sitting duck? Because even if 9th is his max potential, I would take 2 points and a 9th from him. Even 10th, I just want him to score points here on Lamborghini's debut, and then I want us to score points as well. If we can get a good haul by finishing in 7th, or maybe 6th, you know, that would be massive. Even 8th would be nice, but 7th or 6th would be huge. Colapinto's managed to stay in 9th still. He's holding his own, that's what we like to see. As the McLaren and Red Bull fighting up ahead, Yuki Tsunoda wants to go ahead and get into P4 as Lando Norris still struggling on the hards. The hards really haven't come into their own window yet. Even 6 laps into this GP.
If you think you can get past, make use of the overtake button and see what you can do.
The thing is, we're so close, but so is Piastri, so he may make a move on Tsunoda. Wow, we got it stopped.
Nice move, good job.
Here's another look at how we got by Oscar Piastri in his home race. Able to grab the slipstream, open the DRS, and brake just a bit later. He tried to go defensive, but not quite able to hold us off, as we're able to make the move stick, leave him a car's width on the outside. Nice and clean and tidy.
Good job.
The rear's locked up there, and I had to release the brake. I was really worried we weren't going to be able to get it stopped, or we were going to go around. What a move, and we're still in Yuki's DRS here. Up to P6. And we just passed the McLaren on merit. I'm not gonna lie, Yuki's starting to lose touch with the guys ahead of him. I need to start making a move on Yuki here soon. Oh, he got DRS, but I got the slipstream. I got the battery. I sweep around the outside. Open the DRS again. What a move. 1 lap later, and now we're going to be able to use the DRS to make a move on Yuki Tsunoda. Sweep around his outside. And now we're passing a Red Bull and a McLaren. What a debut. Up to P5. And we see 2 Ferraris and a McLaren up ahead. Who would have expected this on debut? I'm looking at P2 up ahead. You can challenge for a podium yet. We're still in DRS here. The 2 Ferraris, if they start fighting again, are going to leave themselves vulnerable. Their best bet is just to work together. Will they do that though? Who knows? Because at the end of the day, your biggest rival is sometimes your teammate. As they're battling into the corner there, as Lewis Hamilton wants by, but he's not able to get it. Charles Leclerc shuts the door. That leaves us vulnerable as we're looking at that. To the McLaren behind us. But we're able to hold off Oscar Piastri as Yuki Tsunoda peels into the pits. And I think that secures that Red Bull driver is going for a 2-stopper. I do not think that that is the optimum strategy, and that will most likely cost Yuki later in the Grand Prix. As we don't even see Max Verstappen. He is Pulling a classic Max Verstappen and just checking out. The two Ferraris side by side again here. Who's going to come out on top? Hamilton wants by his teammate. There's definitely no team orders today as they make contact. That is the last thing Ferrari and Fred Vasseur wants to see. Hamilton still isn't able to make it by. And there was contact between the two Ferrari drivers. Here we are on board 7-time champion Lewis Hamilton as he's going to look to sweep around the outside of his teammate Charles Leclerc. Leclerc just barely leaves him a car width as he's able to keep it on the road. Lewis tries to sweep around the outside, not quite able to. Now he's going to try to dive to the inside. Charles just leaves him the space, and I thought they made contact there, but after further review, it looks like it was all clean. And Charles is able to hold off Hamilton.
So now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
Big snap right there as these tires are really starting to fade away. Every corner is getting a little bit scarier. The car's losing more and more grip. But the pace is here. We're able to keep up with the front runners. We need to make no mistakes, optimize the car, the pit strategy, and I think we can have a really good day here. Maybe challenge for a podium on debut. This lap in, next lap till we got a pit. Then finally Norris and Piastri will be freed on those hard tires. Right now they're just stuck behind all the medium runners. We really can't get through. That was close to being another warning right there. We really got to make sure to keep it within the white lines. As Norris going to look to get to the inside of Hamilton here. He wants through before they pit. He's able to make his way by the 7-time world champion. As that officially takes away Ferrari's double podium as it stands right now. And Lewis challenged back though.
Okay, we want you to pit this lap, so push now, push.
As Lance Stroll out of the session. The usually durable Mercedes engine having issues in the first Grand Prix, which means it isn't a wear issue, it's just a reliability issue. Not what Mercedes or Aston Martin want to see. Anyone powered by Mercedes, that is a bad sight to start the year. As Lando Norris makes his way by Leclerc there.
Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach and make sure you don't speed.
Now Norris is able to free himself and really start to show the pace of that McLaren in clean air. Little conservative on the entry there, but didn't want to get in any trouble.
Okay, go,
Beautiful
go.
stop.
Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
Tires will be cold. Gotta bring them into a good temperature window here. As Charles Leclerc is checking out in the Ferrari. I don't want to get any off tracks here when the tires are cold. I want feeling out how much grip the hard tire has. I say that I almost get an off track. Gotta be super careful. Charles is going to look to the outside here of Hadjar. On the much fresher tires, you expect it to be a pretty easy move. Hadjar doesn't fight him too much. We're not quite going to be able to get there to him yet. Unfortunately, that means we'll be stuck behind this lower Hadjar for this section of the track. Wow, Russell is right on our rear bumper here. Oh, don't crash into us, Hadjar. He's caught up to Albon, and it's really holding him up here. I gotta capitalize, nail every corner. Albon's in the pits. Thank you, sir. No! What understeer was that? Luckily, there's no damage to the car. I don't know how there was no damage, but luckily there was no damage. Valcon's still going around. We've effectively undercut Hamilton by a ton. Same with Norris. Norris now pits. He'll be coming out on really fresh medium tires with low fuel. He'll be really fast. The car's already up to Sonoda there. Past Sonoda. And Sonoda goes in the pits, so I don't even have to worry about that. That was beautiful for me. If I would have been a little closer there and got his DRS, that would have been more perfect. He's running out in P3. No more pit stops. On merit, we're P3. Lando Norris is going to be charging through the field with those new mediums. He's going to have to work his way through a good amount of drivers, and then we're going to have to hold off
to the car ahead, 2.3 seconds.
the more experienced, hard-charging George Russell. We're looking at a podium here. Russell's gonna get the run here. He just gets such good traction out of that final corner. I'm not quite able to put the power down with them.
Gap to your teammate behind, 11.3 seconds.
I think just trying to stay with Russell right now is going to be my best move. He seems quick. And then make a last lap pass on him. That'll also allow us to hold off Norris because we'll have DRS to really go defensive on him. Norris has made his way by Hamilton. He is now only 1.7 seconds behind us. Those mediums are quick. They will start to fall off though eventually. He already has 3 or 4 laps on him. For every lap, they will start to wear out a little bit. Carlos Sainz out of the session. More Mercedes reliability issues. That's another Mercedes-powered car out in this first week. Like I said earlier, when the Aston and Lance Stroll went out, that is not what you want to see if anyone powered by Mercedes. This strategy is working to perfection. We're not even really having to use our battery, and we're able to just easily stay in the DRS of Russell. And then also, I'm kind of maintaining a gap to where I'm a good 0.7 seconds away, so I can use just enough battery and just enough DRS to keep the McLaren behind, where I don't have to lift when I get close to Russell, so that I can actually hold them off. Because if I have to lift, if I get too close to Russell and I have to lift, that just opens the door for McLaren to go for a dive bomb. Our debut here truly signifies the mark Lamborghini wants to make on F1. They're not going to come in and just be a back marker. They're not just going to come in and be a midfield team. Lamborghini wants to come in, compete for podiums, and compete for championships. Little update on Colapinto as well. He's still running P9 right now. So as long as everything goes smoothly, it's double points for Lamborghini on debut. What an introduction to F1. Not over yet though, as we still have the chance to challenge for a podium. 4th place would still be something special, but I would love to get Juan Manuel Correa his first podium, and Lamborghini its first podium on debut. What a sentence. I personally know that this is one of my best tracks. I won't have these type of advantages everywhere. There's a few tracks that I feel super confident going to. Australia, Saudi Arabia is one of them. There's a few tracks that I feel really confident going to, that I think I can come away with at least podiums or wins when I go there. And I really got to make sure when I go to tracks like these that I capitalize on that. I don't make them mistakes. I don't speed entering the pit lane. I don't get too many wins. Those are the small rookie mistakes that can really hold us back from those good finishes. Luckily today we haven't really made any of those yet, and hopefully won't. I know next week at China I'll struggle a little bit more than I do here. I think points are on the table, but will I have the kind of pace that I do this weekend to really challenge the front runners? I don't think so. Maybe I'll surprise myself and the rest of the F1 paddock, but I just don't think the car next week will have this type of pace, so I gotta make sure to capitalize on it today. 3 laps to go. We're in a great spot. We have so much battery. There's no way we catch Charles Leclerc. We have a ton of battery. All it's going to come down to is on the last lap, we're going to drain our battery, and we're going to make a last lap push to try to get George Russell.
Careful. We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip anytime now.
Right up to the rear diffuser of that Mercedes. As when you get that close, there is so much understeer because of the dirty air. And McLaren looking to try to make a move, but they're going to shut the door to the outside. That was our one move. We didn't look onto the inside. A little bit of a snap right there. Nothing we can't correct. And it's 1 lap to go in the Australian Grand Prix.
Final lap.
Can we get George Russell for a podium? 81% battery. He'll have no DRS. We'll want to make the move in that double DRS zone a few corners from now. Everything's looking smooth so far. Turn on the battery here. Open the rear wing. Getting close to the Brit right here. Down to his inside. And we make it stick. We'll also have DRS here because it is a double DRS zone. Open the battery and he'll have no chance. Here's an outside look at the pass that scored Lamborghini and Juan Manuel Correa their first ever podium on debut. What a sentence, what a race. So happy to be here and start our journey with Lamborghini. As Norris able to make his way by Russell as well, as Max Verstappen wins the first race of 2025 and looks to continue his reign of dominance with Charles Leclerc and Juan Manuel Correa and Lamborghini rounding out the podium.
Yes, and that's a podium. Excellent drive. The whole team have worked especially hard this weekend, and that, my friend, is a fantastic reward. Well done.
And in the end, there was no Verstappen. Max Verstappen, he takes victory.
And to get a victory at the first race of the season, this might be a sign of things to come. One thing's for sure is that this performance will be giving the team and the driver relief and confidence going into the rest of the season.
What a day it's been for Formula One, and what a day it's been for these three drivers. Time for the podium celebrations. Time for our drivers to celebrate. But there can only be one on the top step. Your number one, Max Verstappen.
What a thrilling Australian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen gets the Grand Slam with Charles Leclerc and Juan Manuel Correa rounding out the podium, with Franco Colapinto rounding out the top 10. Double points and a maiden podium for Juan Manuel Correa and Lamborghini. Absolutely historic day. Hopefully we can keep that momentum going in China. Thank you to everyone who watched the video. I hope you guys liked it. Please like and subscribe, and you guys have a great day.